Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Myra Ansari here for Wave Now. Hope you're having a good Tuesday so far. Okay, so today I'm going to be taking you to a press conference that's happening right now. Metro leaders and community members are coming together to break ground on the fourth and final phase of Beecher Terrace. Now, some of you may be thinking, oh, Beecher Terrace, that sounds so familiar. Why do I remember that? Let me show you what it used to look like. You may remember some of the areas around downtown Louisville. This was a housing area that has been torn down and completely renovated in parts of Louisville. And now they're breaking ground on phase 4 to feature a total of 210 apartments and also 93 Beecher Terrace replacement units. This is what the new ones look like. So you saw the previous, this is what the renovation looks like. Much, much different, very nicely renovated. So the new ones, phase 4, is going to feature a total of 210 apartments, 93 Beecher Terrace replacements units, 77 tax credit units, and 40 market rate units, including 5 live and work units located along Muhammad Ali Boulevard. So Metro leaders are coming together right now. Let's listen in.
A place where dreams find a foundation, where aspirations flourish, and where the true spirit of belonging is nurtured. We've come together today to celebrate the financial closing and the groundbreaking of Beecher Terrace Phase 4. I'm Laura Kinsel-Bear with McCormick, Bear & Salazar, the developer, and I'm thrilled to be here to celebrate this significant milestone. This is the last phase of the Vision Russell Choice Neighborhood Initiative to revitalize the Beecher Terrace community. Phase 4, which is, for anyone who doesn't know, way down there and to the north a little bit, L-shaped. This will add 210 new apartments built to a market rate standard, as you see behind us, including 5 live-work units along Muhammad Ali Boulevard, just down there, so that entrepreneurs can welcome customers to their small business right outside in the front of their apartment. And we are gathered here to break ground on a venture that will not only shape the landscape around us, but also the lives of countless individuals and families. Affordable housing is not merely about structures. It's about building bridges of opportunity. It's about understanding that a stable home serves as a launch pad for better education, improved health, and increased economic prospects. By investing in affordable housing, you are investing in the positive change at Beecher Terrace and making a lasting impact on the lives of many Louisvillians. In fact, we just received a commitment letter today from Republic Bank, raise your hand, to participate in the financing needed to build affordable single-family for-sale homes at Beecher Terrace. Thank you, Republic Bank. As we put shovel to earth today, we symbolize the start of a journey, one that will require dedication and perseverance. JGJ, I'm looking at you. And the unwavering belief that every step forward brings us closer to our goal of providing high-quality, affordable housing and a stable, thriving community at Beecher Terrace. This groundbreaking is a tangible reminder that progress is not just a vision, but a reality that we can shape together. So as we take this first step on our shared journey, let us hold on to that spirit of collaboration that brought us here today. Let us remain steadfast in our dedication to make affordable housing a reality for those in need. With your continued support, we are not just building homes, we are building hope, resilience, and a brighter future for all. And before I go into our speaker program, I want to give a shout out to our staff here on site, Lamika, Anthony, Tim, Felicia, Trinice, everybody who holds down the fort here every single day and really is tirelessly dedicated to Beecher Terrace. And I want to thank JGJ, John G. Johnson Construction, for being extremely patient with us while we worked through this closing. It was not easy and it took a very long time. So thank you. And we're looking forward to working with you. Real quick, before we start, I want to introduce Pastor Sandin for a real quick prayer.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you at this time to give you praise and honor. We thank you for loving us so much that you sent your only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, to die for us, so we may have life and life abundantly. We thank you for loving us so much that you have made provisions for us to live in this world peacefully. And we pray that you bless every moment that we spending here to discuss the project. I pray, dear Lord, that everyone who's committed to assist in this project may receive all the resources necessary to make it happen. Thank you for what you have done already, and thank you for what you're planning to do so that everything may be a success. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay, thank you for being a part of this moment. Sorry. Together, we lay the foundation for a more inclusive, equitable, and compassionate world. And I think we will be successful if we keep our eyes on that goal. So first, I would like to introduce Mr. Lance Gilbert, Board Member Emeritus of the Louisville Metro Housing Authority. Lance served on the board for over 17 years and served on the Audit and Finance Committee, scrutinizing every budget we have out here, chair of the Hope 6 Committee, and finally as vice chair of the board. Lance.
Thank you, Laura. Good afternoon, everyone. As Laura mentioned, I'm Vice Chair Emeritus. I'm filling in for Reverend Ellis, who unfortunately couldn't be with us today, but he sends his wishes and best to everybody. On behalf of the Louisville Metro Housing Authority, I would like to welcome everybody here today and celebrate this groundbreaking for the fourth and final phase of new rental at Beecher Terrace. For many of you that do not know me, I have been on the board, as Laura mentioned, since 2005 as vice chair under the distinguished Manfred Reed, who was chairman. We were great partners together. Over our tenure, Mr. Reed and I and the other board members are proud to have cultivated developments such as the Parc Duval, Liberty Green, Shepherd Square, and now Beecher Terrace as well. Today, thanks to the previous mayor, Greg Fisher, Mr. Reed and I now have been provided the official title of Board Emeritus, as our terms did conclude in 2021, allowing both of us to be non-voting participants to the board and provide advice and counsel as needed to ensure continuity. Public housing development requires very hard work in not just planning and designing, but also in developing effective financing to fund the projects, including structures and incentives, tax structures and incentives. To make this happen, many players are involved, as you will hear from soon, including the partners of HUD. But I want to especially let you know that a lot of hard work goes into those projects from the staff at Louisville Metro Housing Authority, including Executive Director Lisa Osanka, Wavid Ray, the Chief Financial Officer, and his staff, who work tirelessly on making sure that the funding not only is in the best interest of Louisville Metro Housing Authority and the residents, but also favorable contracts with vendors. And also Norma Ward, I know I've seen you here, Norma, and her staff to ensure that the design and construction meet and exceed expectations for new construction. They are mostly here today. I think Wavid is not, but they are deserving of a round of applause for their hard work. Special thanks to our distinguished guests, including the Honorable State Senator Gerald Neal, also a former Beecher resident, the Honorable Mayor Craig Greenberg, who continues to support affordable housing, Principal Deputy Assistant Director Richard Monocchio, with the Office of Public and Indian Housing in the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Pretty soon we will be hearing from the resident, Ms. Vanderson, will be joining us. Ms. Vanderson, are you out there? And other Beecher Terrace residents, please raise your hand and be recognized as a Beecher Terrace former and current resident. I was going to also introduce the Honorable Congressman McGarvey. I don't know if he's here, but if he is, and I'm sure he sends his best wishes. And I would be negligent, everybody, if I also did not recognize a special person who is not here today. Retired Congressman John Yarmouth, who during his tenure, he absolutely worked with us to get the federal funding that we needed to do these projects over the years that I've been there. Congressman Yarmouth has been a really true friend to Louisville Metro Housing Authority. For those of you who've called Beecher Terrace or Russell home, or those of you who work, attend services, or otherwise visit the neighborhood, or those of you who have been part of the immense task of planning or doing the work of revitalizing Beecher Terrace and the broader Russell neighborhood, to all of you, this final phase has long been coming. As I mentioned earlier, this is the fourth and final phase, and actually the number 4 has some spirituality meaning to it. As found in the Old Testament, the number 4 means 3 things: stability, practicality, and building strong foundations. How appropriate is that? 3 important measures of the word number 4. Like all of you, we are more than ready to see 210 apartments rise to completion and eager for 210 more families to begin moving into these new apartments in 2025. As in earlier on-site phases, and all of the housing being created as part of choice neighborhood efforts, original Beecher Terrace households will have a lifetime first preference for these apartments. And let me repeat that. Original Beecher Terrace households will have a lifetime first preference in all of these apartments. And that's an exciting aspect for everybody. So it is our hope that the former Beecher Terrace residents will join the already 111 Beecher Terrace households who have returned home. This final phase of rental housing is unique in that it also helped rebuild Muhammad Ali Boulevard into the thriving business and entertainment corridor it once was renowned for when it was called Walnut Street. Thanks to all of you who attended dozens of meetings and workshops to help plan the new Beecher Terrace community. 5 live-work apartments will be built along the boulevard, offering entrepreneurs and employees the ability to operate storefronts or work from home. Our friends at the Louisville Central Community Center, including President and CEO Kevin Fields, also a former Beecher Terrace resident, helped fuel this vision for Muhammad Ali Boulevard by leading efforts to reactivate Old Walnut Street into an arts, cultural, and commercial corridor. Beecher Terrace's live-work units are one step towards fulfilling the vision, along with smart bus stop shelters that'll be in front of 4 places. One in front of Joshua Tabernacle Church, one in front of the Kentucky Center for African American Heritage, one will be in front of the new offices within the Business Plaza at LCCC, and also one in front of the mural on the railroad overpass just by LCCC, all of which have been funded by Choice Neighborhood Grant Funds from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Once again, thank you to our invaluable partner, HUD, for their support and belief in Russell and Louisville community. The Boulevard will also benefit from having a portion of New Walnut Street Park, which LMHA and Metro Parks are developing on the former Porta Paints site at 13th and Muhammad Ali, reserved for future commercial development, further fueling the vision to create a variety of retail, entertainment, and recreational offerings. Thank you again to everyone who has poured years of hard work and dedication into these initiatives, and to all who have provided the funding to make this housing, the park, and other neighborhood amenities happen. We hope to be gathering with all of you in 2025, possibly at the new Walnut Street Park, where we can cut the ribbons and start welcoming old and new Beecher Terrace residents into their homes. I would like to make one final remark. It's about words hope and community. I lived in Louisville, this past August was 30 years, coming from New York City, where I spent my first 17 years there in public housing. And there was literally no feeling of dignity and hope within those borders. Today, We are optimistically building not just structures, but hope, just like the motto of our 44th President, Barack Obama. Hope eliminates despair and builds community, not just within Russell, but for all of Louisville. Next year, I will be chairing the Louisville Downtown Development Agency, and we started embarking on a 10-year master plan and 3-year strategic plan for downtown. It will be my hope to build more continuity from downtown to Russell by eliminating the perceived barrier of 9th Street through this process and build a wider, inclusive community for everyone's benefits. As you will hear more about this in the future, your thoughts and ideas will be very welcome. Again, thank you for being here today and witnessing the start of Phase 4, the stability, practicality, and building the foundation of structure. Thank you. Let me introduce our HUD Secretary from Department of HUD, Richard Monocchio, as the next speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. It's been a great pleasure. I spent the morning with the Housing Authority team and could not be more impressed with not only what's happening here, but the vision for the future of Louisville and the affordable housing terrain. I think you have a lot to look forward to. On behalf of Secretary Fudge, she extends her welcome as well. I was able to spend a little time in your great city yesterday and got to the riverfront, and I really look forward. I'm going to come back not only for these great grand openings, the park and the community center, but also to see and experience some of the great things you're doing here. Mayor, Congressman, Senator, I'm very, very impressed. Look forward to coming back. These kinds of things don't happen without the political leadership. We heard about the great support that Congressman Yarma gave. Having leadership like we have here too with Mayor Greenberg, Congressman McGarvey, and Senator Neal, it doesn't happen all the time, and it's not always present. But when it is present, that is when great things can happen at the local level. So, it's indicated not just by the federal commitment that we made to this development, but also the considerable state and city resources that have been infused into the project. Because projects of this magnitude do not happen, the size and the scale, without that state and local commitment as well. So this is a great example of how it's supposed to work, and it is working here. I've been in this job now for about 4 months, but have had the great opportunity to see a lot of the great things that are happening nationwide on the housing front. And I'm very, very optimistic about what I see. I think that housing authorities across the country, like Louisville, are building housing and investing in communities the right way. As we heard, it's not just about the bricks and mortar. It's about connecting to transportation. It's about providing services to the residents and using housing as a platform to improve lives and create self-sufficiency too. So in addition to what's happened here at Beecher, the prior development through the Hope 6 program, and we believe the future development with another choice neighborhood grant that may be applied for, are what really the point is when we talk about housing supply. And the president's housing supply plan, Beecher is emblematic of that, right? We're providing affordable housing in a mixed income setting, but connecting to all of the community amenities and rebuilding our neighborhoods. And for that, I very pleased to be here and great to be up here with this distinguished panel and look forward to hearing from everybody and returning. So thank you very much.
Okay, next we will hear from Kentucky State Senator Gerald Neal. Senator Neal has represented this district, in Frankfurt, for 34 years and is the longest standing Black senator in Kentucky. Senator Neal.
So you see how excited I am? You know, I was looking out there, first of all, hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon to the very distinguished people here, our good friends up and down the road. Let me just tell you, I was looking out at the audience there, and everybody was sort of like this. So then it reminded me of how I feel when I'm looking at a line of speakers. So I said to myself, I'm not going to go with these notes. I just go from, where I am. First of all, I am a little disappointed, though, because I had an opportunity to stand in for a congressman, which I intended to do, but unfortunately, he showed up. Thank you, Congressman McGarvey. It's easy to thank the people that's done this work to stand here and do this. But and I know this is hard work. It's hard to make something like this happen. It takes a combination of all kinds of people, all kinds of agencies, all kinds of pathways that have to be developed in order to make it happen. And nothing ever goes smoothly. There's always something that takes that. So you can reach out and congratulate and thank everybody for their little or their large part, but at the end of the day, it's the sum of those efforts that makes this real and makes it really precious. That's what this is really about, isn't it? But for me, it's personal. I say this every time I come up at phase 1, 2, 3. Now we're at phase 4. I go out of my way to drive down that road over there and say, where's phase 4? And in fact, I drove down it yesterday and said, where's phase 4? And then my LA called me and said, well, you speaking to her? I said, what? So it is what it is it not? So I'm delighted to be here in that camp. I was born, it references me, I was born in Beecher Terrace. I literally was born in Beecher Terrace. I was born in a bed in Beecher Terrace, not in a hospital. And I was born toward the creation of Beecher Terrace. It wasn't the creation, but it was very close. You don't have to count back, please. But then I also saw that iteration of Beecher Terrace go away intentionally. And I remember someone coming to me and said, how do you feel about that before they started down this road? And my immediate response was, go for it. Let's do it. Let's get to the next show. Let's get to the next iteration. Let's look forward. Let's make this thing important in the lives that exist now and those that are to come. And it surprised them because they thought I was going to have some nostalgic thing about Beecher Terrace, because I was born and raised, partially raised in Beecher Terrace. But the fact of the matter is that I have great fond memories of Beecher Terrace, and I want to really stress the value of community, because when I think of Beecher Terrace, and even when I left here, what I came back to constantly, even through my teens, was community. So when they talk about community, that's a very serious piece. Or when you talk about hope, I don't have to go into that. We all know what that means. How do you get out of bed without some hope, right? But you left out one thing. Confirmation. Confirmation, the commitment to that hope and to that community. And now we have this iteration, the fourth stage of this iteration to take place in completion of this. This is big stuff, folks. This is important stuff. And let me just say this. It took a lot of people to step into the initial role and the interim roles, and there'll be people at the end of the day, but understand it really took everybody to make something like this happen. And that's community as well. So God bless you all. God bless everybody had anything to do with this. I'm looking forward to a very bright future for this community, and will engage in it at will. Thank you so very much.
Next, I would like to welcome Congressman Morgan McGarvey. Welcome to Beecher Terrace. A new face. Representative McGarvey was sworn in this year after Congressman John Yarmouth, as we heard, long-time champion of Beecher Terrace, retired. So you got big shoes to fill. Welcome.
Good afternoon. It is awesome to be here today. Truly a day of celebration where we can celebrate what is happening here at Beecher Terrace. We can celebrate what is happening in Louisville. We can celebrate what is happening in this country. Because we know for decades now we have been careening towards a housing crisis in this country. Finally, we have leaders at all levels of government who recognize that crisis and are doing something about it. So many of the housing problems in this country, in Louisville, and in Louisville's West End did not happen by accident. They were created by policy, and everything from lending to redlining. And it is only policy that will undo what has happened. So I'm excited. This is a good day where we are investing in our community, where we are investing in our neighbors, where we are investing in our friends, in housing. Housing. Think about that. It's the cornerstone of so much of what we do. How do you get a job if you don't know where you're going to live? Where do you send your kids to school if you don't know where you're going to live? How do you meal plan if you don't have a reliable place to live, where you might not have a microwave or a refrigerator even to prepare the food you can get? Housing is at the cornerstone of what we do, and it changes people's lives. And if we invest in it, it actually saves us money. If we invest in people being in housing today, it saves us money as compared to how we've been handling the problem. So my good friend, our state Senate Minority Leader, Gerald Neal, who I wished he'd gotten to stand in for me, but also would have been scared to death at what he might have said. We served together for 10 years in the state Senate. You said it, we're looking forward. I was getting ready to tell the story that I've heard him tell it before. He was born in a bed in Beecher Terrace. We're looking forward here. A big shout out to my predecessor, John Yarmouth, for all of the work he did to make this possible. I promise you I have that same commitment. And it really is a time of renaissance. This isn't happening in a silo. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were over at the Lofts on West Broadway talking about the same thing and opening up new affordable housing units. We've got Neal Smith with Black Coffee here, Black-owned businesses operating in West Louisville that will need housing. We'll need some of that here. We've got the mayor of Russell, Jackie Floyd, right here in the audience today. And with what we see happening, again, from Gerald Neal's leadership to Mayor Craig Greenberg, to what we see with the governor, Andy Beshear, and Winston Miller, and what they're doing here, when you have that city, state, federal leadership align on making things better, this is an exciting day and a day forward. Thank you guys for having me.
Next, we'll hear from the Honorable Craig Greenberg, Mayor of Louisville Metro. Louisville Metro is a co-grantee of the Choice Neighborhood Grant and has also been a very generous funding partner all the way through. Mayor Greenberg.
Thank you so much, and it's wonderful to be here today representing Metro government as we can celebrate this great news to continue to build more affordable housing, not just in the Russell neighborhood, but in our city, which is so dire in needs of more quality, safe, affordable housing. Thanks so much to our friends at HUD, at the Kentucky Housing Corporation, and as Senator Neal said, to everyone who played a role in this, Louisville Metro Housing Authority, and so many others who all did. I also do want to give a shout out to my predecessor, Mayor Greg Fisher, and the entire Louisville Metro government team that started this work long before I took office, and am now here to celebrate and support the continued development of Phase 4 here at Beecher Terrace and other projects around the city. And when we talk about projects like this, we often talk about the buildings, but we need to remember that these buildings exist for a reason. They exist to serve the people of Russell, to serve the people throughout our city that are in need of high quality, safe, and affordable housing. It's here to serve the people who already live in the first 3 phases of Beecher Terrace and those who will live here soon in the 4th phase. At Metro government, we have worked and continue to work for the people of Russell by supporting this, and will continue to support so many other important initiatives that are going around here. Just think, Congressman McGarvey just mentioned some of the great momentum that we have going on in Russell today, like the renovation and expansion of the historic Baxter Community Center, the new theater and family strengthening center at LCCC, Molo Village, new commercial retail center, the Village at West Jefferson, just a block or 2 away that recently opened. The Norton Healthcare Sports and Learning Center at 30th and Ali at future development. We just opened a new primary care center just 2 weeks ago by Centerwell on their campus. The restoration of the Quinn Historic Chapel that we're soon going to get underway. The new Walnut Street Park at 13th and Ali, which was designed with the input of hundreds of Russell residents like the mayor, Miss Floyd, and other stakeholders that had an input into what that park will be. The Hospitality and Opportunity Campus, sponsored by Goodwill at the corner of 28th and Broadway, that will create more jobs and provide more health care with Norton's new hospital that is being built. And there is so much more. But what's really happening throughout Russell, and especially right here, is exciting, because it shows us again and again that we can do big things here in Louisville. We've already done these first 3 phases. We're going to do the 4th phase. We can do it. We can do it by working together, by talking, by listening to one another, by working through challenges, and finding resources and partners to make visions reality. So in the coming months, as we watch Beecher Terrace Phase 4 come to life, let's use this as a reminder that we know how to do this. We know how to take on big challenges and create incredible results that transform neighborhoods and change lives. And let's also let this serve as a reminder that the quality of affordable housing that we're surrounded by here today and we built this Phase 4 is the same quality of housing that everyone across our city who is currently living in a unit where Louisville Metro Housing Authority is their landlord deserves. We must make sure that that becomes a reality over the coming months and years ahead. That's what the residents deserve. That's what the citizens of Louisville deserves. And that's what our administration will be focused on. So now is the time to take the energy and the partnerships that created all of those transformations that I just mentioned and focus on the challenges and opportunities that are ahead of us right now. It's time right now to make our city safer by taking on the root causes of crime so we can guide more of our young people away from the path that leads to tragedy and towards the path, the hope, and possibility. It's time to continue the transformation in Russell and all of the neighborhoods of West Louisville. It's time to find new and better ways to take on the related crises of homelessness and affordable housing. We must use this as an inspiration to address the challenges that we face at Parkway Place and Dosker Manor and transform those developments just like we've done here at Beecher Terrace. It's time right now to become a national leader in sustainability. It's time to build an economy that will keep talented people in our city and create opportunity for people in every zip code in Louisville. It's time to make high quality pre-K a reality for every 3- and 4-year-old in our city. And one more thing. It's time to enlist the support of our friends in the Kentucky State Legislature like Senator Neal and our friends in U.S. Congress like Congressman McGarvey to invest even more in transformational projects like this for our city and our state and to help do what it takes with help from Frankfurt, with help from Washington to end the epidemic of gun violence in our city. All of that work and more is ahead of us. And anytime we feel unsure about whether we can address those giant challenges and make those visions reality, let's remember what we did here at Beecher Terrace and what we're going to continue to do here at Beecher Terrace. Let's keep working, keep talking, keep pushing, because that's how we get big things. That's how we get great things done. That's what the people of Russell deserve. That's what everyone in Louisville deserves. So I'm excited to keep working with all of you all here to make Phase 4 a reality and to accomplish these important things for Louisville together. Congratulations, and thank you all very much.
Okay. So doing a project like this is not cheap, so we need money. So the next few people are our tireless supporters in all things financing. So I'd like to bring up Ms. Catherine Coffin next, the president and CEO of Ohio Capital Corporation for Housing. A longtime syndicator of low-income housing tax credits in Kentucky and a great partner to McCormick Barron. Catherine.
You know, it's really difficult coming after such passion in the speaking ranks, but I am very proud to represent many investors, and many of those investors include both community, regional, and national banks, as well as some of the large GSEs in the country, where we are able to pull together funds and pool those funds and focus on projects such as Beecher. One of the things I do want to point out, though, is the residents, both past and current, and even future. You know, there was a lot of conversation before they put the first shovel in the ground with the residents and mapping out what that vision is. And there was a lot of trust. There was a lot of trust, and they were asking for the residents' patience, input, and trust. And hopefully so far in the process here, and of course, finishing up with Beecher 4, hopefully that has come through, showing the caring and the attention to detail and the focus on the residents that they were hoping for. But I want to thank you for coming today and celebrating, and I want to thank the group for allowing Ohio Capital to be a longtime partner, 15 years in Beecher 4, as well as the other phases. So thank you.
Okay, now we will hear from Mr. Joey Haig, director at Lumen. Lumen has been the primary private lender at Beecher Terrace for all phases, has been through it since day one, 7 years ago. So, Joey.
Thank you. I can't believe it was 7 years that we started. You said that and that threw me for a spin. We were involved in all four phases, all the first phase, the second and third, and now the final phase of Beecher. In this project, we were able to underwrite bonds that were issued by KHC, by the Kentucky Housing Corporation. We also provided a forward rate locked Freddie Mac loan. All of that was allowed the project to receive the 4% tax credits that OCCH helped to syndicate. We've really been really proud to be part of these communities, to be part of these projects. I think that they've just turned out fantastic. They are one of our favorite projects to finance. We've really enjoyed working with McCormick Barron all 7 years, working with LMHA all 7 years. Really appreciate it, and hopefully we can do some more business in the future. So thank you all.
Okay, we can't do it without the low-income housing tax credit program. So next, I would like to welcome Mr. Winston Miller, Executive Director of the Kentucky Housing Corporation. KHC has not only awarded a set aside of tax credits for all phases of Beecher Terrace, but also helped out this time with some significant gap financing. So thank you, Mr. Miller.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. As indicated, my name is Winston Miller. I'm the Executive Director of the Kentucky Housing Corporation, and it's an honor to join you all and all of these distinguished guests that are on the podium here today to celebrate on this occasion. I'm not going to mention everybody by name. That'd only lengthen the program and the heat. I think we all would like to avoid that. Let me say that it's important that we celebrate the final phase of Beecher Terrace with 210 more homes, housing units to this growing community. This comprehensive neighborhood revitalization is exactly the kind of program that May Street Kidd envisioned when she created the Kentucky Housing Corporation in 1972. May's Representative Kidd brought with her the desire to fight for equal opportunities for all Kentuckians in the state of Kentucky and in this neighborhood, which was where she lived and where her constituents lived. She wanted everyone to be able to have a safe, secure, affordable place to live without having to leave the neighborhood and the community in which they were comfortable in. The final phase will add, as I think the program indicates, 20 market rate units, 77 units at 60% AMI, 20 units at 80% of AMI, and importantly, 93 of the units will be for residents of the original Beecher Terrace who will be able to be returning home to the area which they left in order for this construction to take place. Each of the residents will not only be the beneficiary of new high energy efficient apartment homes, but on-site services for educational, employment, and economic development resources will be available to them. The future will be brighter here because the opportunities will be greater and the support system will be more robust. We at Kentucky Housing Corporation are thankful to have the resources to invest in worthy ventures like this one. In the first phase of Beecher Terrace, Kentucky Housing Corporation invested $15 million in tax credits, $3.6 million in 9% tax credits. I misspoke, $15 million in tax exempt bonds and 3.6 in 9% tax credits. In phase 4, we've invested $39 million in tax exempt bonds and $2.5 million in the National Housing Trust funds, which is, I think, the gap financing that was just made reference to. When complete, Kentucky Housing Corporation will have invested more than $60 million into this, the restoration of Beecher Terrace. And I think everyone will know that we've been here from the beginning and we've been here at each phase, and we are here at the completion of this project, which is very critical to Louisville and to the Kentucky as well. We join with all the people here in this celebration. Thank you all for being here, and thank you.
Okay, next we will hear from Ms. Talana Holland, Senior Director of Operations, Policy, and Influence at Urban Strategies, who is our People Grantee at this choice.
Hey folks, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to put a pause on this stream because I have to get ready for a cut-in at 1:50 here on Wave. So I apologize for ending this a little bit early, but don't worry, David Mattingly is going to have complete coverage for you coming up on Wave News at 5 and 6 today. Have a great day.